I want to get this out of the way first before we get into some of the specifics. And already a lot of people are talking about how good this Aztec team is going to be once again. But the way last season ended, after a tremendous 2-year run, Coach, and the disappointment of just not bringing your game against Syracuse and then running into Boeheim and the kid just couldn't miss a shot. How quickly can you get past something like that? Or do you use that maybe as an extra motivator going into the new season?
I haven't watched that game yet. I was so disappointed. I thought it was a great draw for us. We shoot the ball so well. We probably got zoned 2 or 3 times all year. And I just thought it was a great matchup. And then we got out there. We missed some early shots. Buddy Boeheim got rolling, and we got rolled over. And it was really disappointing. But, if it doesn't kill you, you learn from it. And we'll learn from that experience, and hopefully we'll have an opportunity to run across Syracuse again in the not-too-distant future.
It is interesting about the NCAA tournament because while you guys had that off day against Syracuse, I remember UCLA barely surviving against Michigan State, and the next thing you know, they're in the Final Four. From a coaching standpoint, and you've been on this coaching run for years as both an assistant and as a head coach, does it frustrate you at all that so much rides on what you consider a successful season based on what you do in the NCAA tournament?
It all has to be based on what your priorities are and what your goals are. Obviously, we want to make a run to a Final Four. That's a goal. But by winning the regular season Mountain West title, the postseason Mountain West title, we can take some solace in that. But the ultimate goal has to be a deep run in the NCAA tournament. That's what we're playing for. And we've had opportunities to do that. I'd like to think we had 3 teams over my 20-plus years on the Mesa that had a chance to make a run there. And obviously the Kawhi Leonard team at 34-3 was a fantastic team. The 30-2 team that didn't get to go to the tournament, I thought that had enough talent and experience to make a run. And then the 31-win team with Xavier Thames. And here we're talking 3 different teams with 30-plus wins. Usually those teams are good enough to make a run. We didn't. We didn't get all the way as far as we wanted to, but very good Aztec teams.
All right, Coach, let's talk about this year's team. So one of the big questions after last year, you knew that Mitchell and Shaka were going to go. Gomez decided to leave as well, but 2 guys decided to stay. They had an opportunity to leave, and they decided to stay. Tomajic and Pulliam. Let's talk with those 2 guys right now. Their decision to come back as super seniors, so to speak, on this Aztec team. How much does their return mean to this team coming up this season?
Arguably, Trey was our most important player down the stretch last year, and it takes a while to hit your stride. He came from junior college. He played behind Malachi and KJ his first year. His second year, he stepped in the starting lineup, and his confidence started to build as the year went on. And then at the end of the year, he was fantastic. And now to get that bonus year with him is going to be good for him and really good for the Aztecs. Josh Tomajic. Josh is a really good player, but missing out on last summer with the COVID protocols, missing out on a good fall where it's 1 player, 1 coach, a pair of gloves a year ago. I think being in the program a year, I think he's comfortable, and I think his game will shine more this year than it did last year.
You have a number of seniors on this squad right now, Coach, and you're always a big believer in senior leadership. And, I think back to Jordan and Matt and what they brought as senior 4-year players in the program, and their leadership could not be underscored. They were tremendous leaders and a great part of the success over the last couple of seasons, especially for the Aztecs. Talk about your senior leadership, what we expect from the seniors coming up this season.
Well, obviously, the 2 we just mentioned, Josh and Trey. Adam Seiko going to his 5th year in the program, I think is ready to step out and have a big, big year. Ogwuka Rope coming into his 4th year. Nathan Mensah, been a 4-year program guy, 3-year starter. Matt Bradley, our transfer from Cal, all Pac-12 player, 18 a game he averaged last year, going to play a big role. The list goes on. Tahiro Diabate, a 5th-year transfer from Portland, adds size and strength inside. And so we've got great veterans on this team, and we're playing really well already defensively. We're going to be hard to score on again. The key is now how are we going to manufacture offense, where's it going to come from, and who's going to score important baskets for us.
You mentioned Matt Bradley, and this is just another in the long line of transfer students that using the portal are choosing San Diego State. When you go out there, and obviously you guys have had tremendous success recruiting all these players, Coach, what is it that the feedback you get about it? I saw an interview with Tomajic when he talked about the first time he met with you and just said, wow, this is a guy I want to play for. But with Bradley and all these other transfers you've gotten over the years, how do you sell it? Or do you even have to sell it anymore based on the success you guys have had?
Well, these young men want to win beyond anything else. And they want to go to a program where they know they can win and have a chance to go to the NCAA tournament. Obviously, we've done that, going 9 of the last 12 years. And then they want to go a place that gets them better, that we work on their game with them every day. And we do that. What better guy to look at than Malachi Flynn? Not many transfers make it to the NBA. But Malachi came, sat a year, played a year, and made the NBA. So what better player to sell than that you can come here, maybe your numbers will drop, your efficiency may go up, and that may be the key. And so we have good things to sell here, that the transfers here have had tremendous success and will continue to do so if we pick the right ones.
All right, how about some of the underclassmen? Who do you hope and expect to step up their game this season?
Well, obviously, Keyshawn Johnson coming back for his third year. We're going to rely on Keyshawn, his productivity to go way up this year. He's looked good in practice. Lamont Butler, a freshman last year, showed great promise, worked hard on his game over the summer, continues to get stronger. I think Lamont will be a key player. A guy like Keith Dinwiddie, who didn't get a lot of minutes but can score the ball at an elite level, is now defending really well. And that's the key. Sometimes you have to play great defense to get on the floor, and now his defense has stepped up. Now he'll have an opportunity to show some of that offensive game that holds so much promise for us. So we've got some good kids in the program that have developed here that will continue to step up and produce for us.
I know that Mick Cronin at UCLA, Coach, has the same mindset about that you have about defense first. And I had a good laugh when I think it was their first tournament game, and they were talking about Johnny Juzang and all the points. And the only thing Mick Cronin was saying is, I got bad news for Johnny. I just saw that he can play better defense than he has in the past, so I'm going to hold him to it. When you bring in these high school stars or transfer stars that are just used to being the big scores and everything else, how do you indoctrinate that whole idea, that sense of defensive mentality, not just from an individual standpoint, from a team standpoint? How do you ingrain that in the mind of a young guy that maybe has never thought of defense in those terms?
It's just part of the culture. You set your culture, and I have the upperclassmen. I said I'll ask a sophomore or I'll ask a junior. I'll say, tell the freshmen how they play at San Diego State. And they'll say, because they guard. I said, that's right, because they guard. I said, I can't wait for you to score 2 points when the guy you're guarding has 10 already. So if you don't guard, you're not going to get on the floor. So if you guard hard and you're playing good defense, then I'll let you play with great freedom offensively. And so it's something they buy into. They understand that. And that's why our defense has been good. I have good assistant coaches, Dave Velasquez, Chris Acker, J.D. Luster, J.D. Pollack. They do a great job setting the tone every day in practice.
And having those coaches year after year, and obviously they're going to have opportunities to go on to head coaching jobs elsewhere because of the success you've had at San Diego State, but that continuity with your coaching staff, even if it's short term, how invaluable is that to move the program forward? It's
everything. I learned that from Coach Fisher, that you have to delegate, you have to let guys feel they're involved to be a major part of the success of the team. And I've got good coaches, and a lot of times in practice, I'm just observing because they're doing such a great job. And then when I do have to interject, then my words mean more because I'm not talking all the time. So I've got assistant coaches that are more than capable of running their own programs at this time. They're very good, and I'm very blessed to have them with me.
How anxious are you to get back into a fully packed Viejas?
It's everything. I hear our season ticket renewal was up around 98%. All the premium seats, there's a wait list for those, and so we're going to play in a full Viejas, and that makes a huge difference to Aztec basketball.
Coach, we can't wait. Now the whole Cannon dynamic is a little split these days because I had to jump in on this morning show, and you still have Rich and John in the afternoons calling themselves the Loose Cannons. I feel like we're blanketing the whole day here. I've been telling Coach Hoke this with the football program, and Dutch, you know how important you guys are to us here on the flagship of the Aztecs, proud flagship. We want to take you not only to another Mountain West Conference regular season championship, another Mountain West Conference tournament championship. We want to get to a Final Four. We want to be there. It will be the greatest day of our lives to get all of us together at a Final Four for the Aztecs. And I'm telling you, I'm looking at this team right now. I don't know if you've had a deeper team. And that's saying a lot because you guys have had a lot of great teams. But the depth of this roster right now, whew, it is something else. And we just can't wait to get the season started about a month from now. So, Coach, we wanted to check in with you. All's good? Your off-season's good? I know you don't have an off-season, but everything's been good with the family and everything?
Everything's good, been great. Recruiting's been going really well. I can't talk about it specifically, but recruiting has been excellent, and the program's in good shape, and I'm excited about this season. And let's get you guys back together. Let's put the band back together in the arena this year.
That is what we're going to do. We're going to get out to Viejas. That's what we want to do. I know that Coach Dutch, he's always looking for us, and we're going to be out there for those games. Coach, always appreciate the time. All the best. Can't wait for the season to start.
Thanks for having me, Steve.